Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and in today's video, we're going to look at the Idoneth Deepkin, and in particular, the Briomdar sub-faction. In this video, we'll go through talking about the special rules that Briomdar as a sub-faction will get inside an Idoneth Deepkin army, and then we'll take a look at a couple of units we can use to start off our Briomdar collection with. We'll then take a look at some other units to expand upon those initial purchases with, to first of all create our first 1000 point army list for you to use, and we will at the end of the video show you a little sample army list as some inspiration for you to create your own Briomdar Idoneth Deepkin army. And so, what do we get with a Briomdar army? First of all, you can find this sub-faction inside the Idoneth Deepkin battle tome if that's what you want to play with. Now, what it gets is during deployment, if you set up a friendly Briomdar Soulscryer unit using the Finder of the Ways ability, which is the ability on the Soulscryer's War Scroll to bring units in from the board edge in ambush sort of way, in a reserve way, from the sides of the board, up to 3 friendly Briomdar units can join that Soulscryer instead of only 2. In addition, when you set up any of those units, you can set them up whole within 12 inch of the Soulscryer and more than 9 inch away. This is just an additional buff on the range of this, because normally it's a lot tighter range because there are less units. You get more units available and you do get more range to put those units in. No, you still have to be 9 inch away from enemy units. This is an interesting one because you can then put, say, your shooting units in a more pushed back position. You don't have to be quite so close. So your Soulscryer can go nice and close with combat units, but you can put your shooting units in that come on from reserve like that further back. This actually, I think, is a lot more substantial than first appears on this range, meaning, you know, you can do a lot more with that area. You've got a lot more area to play with inside that. You can actually bring in quite a few large units as well if you wish to. And so, where do we get started? Well, obviously, an Isharan Soulscryer is the place to start for this sub-faction. They're going to allow you to bring 3 units instead of the normal 2 with a Finder of the Ways ability. How this works is you put it in reserve and then you put other units as you drop them down on the table in reserve with it. If you have, you know, a 1-drop army or a battalion that makes you unified and drops it all together, you just choose them then and there. Though you don't have to pick the units at the same time as the Soulscryer, he could totally go in part of, say, a battle regiment, and then 2 units in a bounty hunters battalion could join him later. Now, he is also a priest, which is pretty cool, so he's going to be able to bring, you know, access to just generic prayers. Idoneth don't actually have their own prayer law, but this still gives you things like Curse, which is really good for getting some mortal wounds out, something Idoneth on a variety of different units don't actually produce an awful lot of in a lot of different ways, but also give you things like Guidance for an extra command point, which could be really cool on the rerollable charges, or something like Heal for your more larger units, which actually you've got quite a few units that can make use of Heal. Now, alongside this, Mighty Thralls is stock standard battle line. We don't unlock any particular battle line units with the Briomdar sub-faction, so Thralls are a really nice pick. First of all, 10 models, 5 up save, only 1 wound each, but they do have a 2-inch reach on those weapons, so they are a little bit flimsy. You will have a 5-up ward alongside your ships, so deploying your etheric vortexes, your gloom-type shipwrecks on the table in the correct location, so you can come on, say, with a Isharan Soulscryer and then be in range for your ward save. It can be a really important part of your pre-game planning. But not only that, they put out 2 attacks each, 3/3, run 1, damage 1, though they get extra attacks and extra damage based on the wounds characteristic of enemy models they are fighting. So they can actually put out quite a decent amount of hurt when put into the right targets. And so, where to next? Well, first of all, the other core battle line unit we have is Mighty Reavers. Mighty Reavers are a shooting unit available to us for the Idoneth Deepkin. They're, you know, pretty similar to Thralls. They do have a increased movement over the Thralls. A nice baseline of 8-inch movement is actually really nice for an infantry unit that can shoot as well. And they're going to put out a couple of shots each, which is not too bad. 2 attacks, 3/3, run 1, damage 1, and they also add 1 to the hit rolls when they're shooting something that's within 9 inch of them. Is pretty nice. The Kelly Alopex, I think, is a really nice pick for this particular sub-faction. Now, we're going to be wanting to bring a lot of units into reserve, and we're going to be wanting to hit our opponent's flanks. So I think an Alopex with the Retarius Net Launcher is actually a really cool pick. Because what's this going to allow us to do? If you ever hit with the Retarius Net Launcher, the unit you target can't make a pile-in move. Now, this is where I think it's really cool, because it's going to stop units piling in. You're able to put one of your units into your opponent's unit's flank, potentially into, you know, where there's not many models engaging you, and stopping them being able to pile into you is a really nice thing to have available to you. And on top of that, it's 3/3s, no range damage 3 as well. Could potentially, wipe out 3 chaff unit. Now, onto the last unit. Something I was talking about, bringing in a large model that can actually go into the fight. Besides the Alapex itself, I think the Eidolons have a good place in this particular style of list. First of all, we have the aspect of the Storm. This is the close combat variation of the Eidolons. It's got a couple of cool rules. First of all, Storm Shoal. Both Eidolons have this 5-up ward on them. And then the crashing upon the foe for the Storm is, or you can heal D3 wounds each time after you make a charge. You add 1 to your attacks and damage characteristic. With the Spear of Repressed Fury when you charge, and you get retreat and still charge in the same turn as well. On top of this, you're Drenched with Hate, allows you to add +1 a wound from melee weapons used by friendly Idoneth Deepkin, hollow within 12 inch, and your Pulled into the Depths ability will allow you to get some bonuses when fighting an enemy hero. Now, the other one we have access to is the Eidolon Aspect of the Sea. This is the wizard variation of the Eidolon. Now, not quite as fighting in combat, and a 2-cast and unbind wizard. You've got that 5-up ward from Storm Shoal, like the other Eidolon. You also give a bravery of 10 to any Idoneth units whole within 18 inch. You can reroll casting, dispelling, and unbinding rolls for unit, and any time your unit successfully casts a spell, you heal D3 wounds. So you can heal 2D3 potentially in the same turn. You've then got a couple of cool spells which can negate save rolls, can also do some mortal wound damage, and you've got access to the Idoneth spell lore, which has some really nice things in there as well. And so here is our sample army list for Briomdar. This is certainly a more gimmicky style army. I think this would be a lot of fun to try and play and see where you can get go. It's a one-trick pony without a doubt. As your army grows, this certainly can not become a one-trick pony. You can have multiple of these different strategies coming on and multiple different plans for units that are going to go in reserve based on what you're playing. But definitely at the first 1,000 points, I think going with something that's a little fun and a little gimmicky like this is the way to go. Now, we've gone for a show of dominance, having a unit in each table quarter. It might be a little bit hard to do with the amount of units we have in the army, but you never know. This army is either going to win hard or lose hard. Bloodthirsty for a triumph, rerollable charge, really important to have that. With 30 points under, there's a good chance we're going to get it. The Eidolon of Mathland Aspect of the Storm, he's going to be a general, going to have the Master of Magic command trait, which will allow us to reroll a single casting or unbinding roll per turn. Arcane Tome in there to make them a wizard, and then Flaming Weapon as well for some more damage on his weapons. We then have an Ishran Soulscryer with Curse. Now, battle line, we've got 10 Namadi Reavers and 10 Namadi Thralls. And then lastly, in our other units, we've got a Achillean Alapex with a Rotarius Net Launcher. This is pretty simple. Your Reavers, your Eidolon, and your Alapex are the 3 units that are going to jump in with that Ishran Soulscryer, and your Reavers are going to be able to start from the backfield and move up the table. This army is in a battle regiment. It's one drop. It's really aiming to go first, try and pin your enemy, try and do some damage real quick, or potentially even going second, taking the double, hoping for that double. 45 wounds is extremely light. That is well under average for wounds. This, like I said, this is without a doubt a nice, fun, gimmicky Idoneth army to play. If you like playing, a little ambush army, you like a win it all or lose it all sort of army, this could be the army for you. If you've had more success with Briomdar and higher points, where I think it definitely opens up more options for how you can play with these unique mechanics for the army, definitely let us know how you've been going down in the comments below. That's the end of the video, everyone. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, drop us a comment down below in the comment section and let us know what you enjoyed about the video and what you'd like to see more of on the channel. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here we have at Sinful Gaming, you can do so on our Discord server, which is linked in the video's description. Also linked in the video's description is our Patreon and YouTube members, where you can go to help support the channel and allow us to keep doing what we're doing. As a special thank you to our Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons: Christian Weir, Soren, Greenskins Gaming, Kenny Lauer, Outer Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Derek, and Giappi390, and to our YouTube members: Greenroots Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Lockloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, and Monty's Tabletop Terrain. And lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel. Thank you all for watching. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now, everyone.